We all think we know who our friends are. We really do. We look at the people we share laughs with, the ones we grew up with in the same sunny American neighborhood, and we tell ourselves, these are my brothers. We build this beautiful, comfortable illusion that friendship is an unbreakable wall. We convince ourselves that if the world catches fire, these people will be the ones holding the water. But life has a strange, sometimes brutal way of testing what is real and what is just smoke. This was the world of a young man named Henry. Henry was born and raised in a wonderful, loving family. As an only child, he was the center of his parents' universe, a sharp, energetic, and incredibly charismatic boy. Henry was the life of every party. He had a massive circle of friends, and to Henry, friendship wasn't just a word, it was his religion. He valued his friends above everything else, convinced that the bond they shared since childhood was an unbreakable wall. He was certain that if his world ever caught fire, these men would be the ones holding the water. But life has a way of testing what is real and what is just smoke. And then there was Sarah. Sarah was 10 years younger than Henry. To Henry, she was just a kid, a sweet girl, but someone he couldn't bring himself to take seriously. He was reckless with her heart. He treated her feelings casually, windily, brushing her off because of the age gap. He thought she was too young to understand real life. But Sarah was deeply, irrevocably in love with Henry. Deep down inside her young heart, she knew she was ready to go through hell and back, to face any trial, just to be by his side. But Henry didn't care. He practically walked all over her feelings, leaving her in the background of his loud, fast-paced life. It started out as just another perfect day. The roaring sound of motorcycle engines, the smell of gasoline, the sharp rush of adrenaline, and Henry's crew of childhood friends riding right beside him. They felt invincible, but the line between a perfect day and a living nightmare is incredibly thin. In a split second, everything shattered. A sudden loss of control, a violent crash, the heavy sound of metal scraping against the asphalt, throwing sparks into the air, and then an explosion. The motorcycle instantly turned into a raging, furious fireball, and Henry was trapped right in the middle of it. He was burning alive. Now let's stop and think about human nature. In a moment like that, every ancient biological instinct inside a human being should scream one thing and one thing only: compassion. Your brain shouldn't think. Your body should just move. You tear off your jacket, you throw dirt, you fight the flames with your bare hands, you drag your friend out of the pit of hell, because in a fire, every single millisecond is the difference between a minor scar and a destroyed life. But the friends Henry valued so much, the guys he grew up with, they did something that is absolutely impossible for a sane mind to comprehend. They didn't run to help. They didn't look for water. Instead, they reached into their pockets. They unlocked their screens and they pulled out their cameras. Think about the horror of that scene. While Henry was screaming and agonizing, screaming in unbearable, mind-shattering pain, fighting for his breath in the middle of a literal inferno, his brothers were stepping back to get a better view. They were adjusting the lenses. They were capturing his agony for content. They didn't see a dying brother. They saw a viral video. The digital age has brought a terrifying mutation to humanity. The smartphone screen has become a psychological shield from reality. When a person looks at a tragedy through a viewfinder, their brain completely detaches from human empathy. It stops being real life. It becomes a movie, a TikTok post. Pity, love, and basic human decency completely shut down, replaced by a sick, hollow urge. I need to record this. This is shock content. This is going to get millions of views. We have literally trained a generation to convert human torture into likes, shares, and social media engagement. They stood there, holding their phones steady, watching him burn, while the clock was ticking away his old face. Henry survived that fire, but when the smoke cleared, God redistributed the cards of his life in a way no one expected. As Henry lay in the hospital, fighting the absolute darkest, loneliest nightmare in the intensive care unit, something chilling happened. One by one, all his loyal friends vanished. The guys who had filled his social media feeds, the guys he cherished, they couldn't handle the reality of his pain. They blocked his number. They deleted his tags. They ran away because looking at Henry's scars reminded them of their own cowardice. Henry's golden circle of brotherhood turned into a complete ghost town. Henry went through months of brutal surgeries, skin grafts, and unendurable physical trauma. The fire changed his physical appearance forever. It took away his old face, but right there in the quiet, sterile room of the ICU, the ultimate miracle happened. When everyone else fled, Sarah stayed. Think about the profound beauty of this moment, the young girl whose feelings Henry had ignored, the girl whose heart he had treated so carelessly. She became his absolute rock. She didn't look at his deep scars and turn her back. She didn't look at what the fire did to his skin and walk away. While the grown men ran away like cowards, this young woman stood firm. Sarah looked past the burns, looked directly into Henry's broken soul, and she held his bandaged hands. She showed him a level of maturity, loyalty, and fierce devotion that put all his old friends to shame. She chose unconditional love over superficial vanity. They didn't break up. In fact, they got married after the accident. Sarah proudly walked down the aisle to marry the man she loved, not his reflection in the mirror. And today, God has blessed their incredible, unbreakable bond. They are building a beautiful life in America, and Sarah has blessed Henry with 4 beautiful Deacon children, 4 new lives brought into this world because one woman chose unconditional love over superficial vanity. The fire was meant to destroy Henry, but instead it became a brutal crucible that burned away everything that was fake in his life. It destroyed his false friends, and it melted away his own pride. It left him with only one thing: the pure, undying, sacrificial love of Sarah. This story isn't just about a tragic road accident, and it's not just about a sickening betrayal by a group of cowards. This story is a mirror for the modern world, and it is time we all look very deeply into it. It shows us the absolute worst of what we are becoming: detached, screen-obsessed monsters. But it also shows us the absolute highest peak of what human love can achieve. True connection is a heavy responsibility, not just a pretty photo on a profile grid. So let's stop. Look down at your own hands right now. Think about what they are truly meant for. They were made to reach out to grab someone and to pull them up when they are falling or when they're burning. They were not made to hold a piece of plastic and glass to film their destruction. Phones can be replaced every single year, but a lost soul, a lost humanity, and a betrayed friend can never be brought back. Be human. Guard your empathy. And if you're lucky enough to have a Sarah in your life, cherish her, because in the end, the screens will go dark, but love is the only thing that wins. Before it's too late.